Welcome back to the e-classes by Dr. Chandan Kumar, and today in this class of mine we'll be discussing postural deformities. So basically we'll be talking about and we'll be covering the deformities related to our own posture, and I will be covering few of the deformities that are very common and you can see them in your daily life. So what basically we know about postural deformities, and what basically a postural deformity is. Basically, when we talk about posture is an individual's position while he's standing, sitting, walking, or even sleeping. And there is no common standard position, like when we talk about standard posture, there is no common, standard posture, but uh, when we talk about a bad posture is always reflected as, some kind of if you're facing with some kind of deformity, or there is a some kind of non-alignment of your body, if your body is not straight while you're sitting or while you're standing, or you are doing any kind of stuff even when you're sleeping. So your body should be in proper alignment, in proper line, and when it goes out of that particular alignment, then it becomes a bad posture, or your posture is termed as a deformity. So there are few common type of postural deformities that we'll be covering in this lecture of mine. The first is knock knee, one of the very common kind of postural deformity. Bow legs, flat foot, scoliosis, lordosis, and kyphosis. So we'll be covering this major postural deformities. So let's proceed. The first postural deformities that I'll be covering today is knock knee. Knock knee is one of the common postural deformities, and this one is very much common. And the students who appear in defense examinations, or they go for medical examinations, they go through this particular exam whether they have knock knee or not. So you can see in the picture, the first picture depicts the normal position. The alignment is straight, and your knees are straight. So basically, by the name only, you can depict the deformity is something related towards uh, related to the knees. And in the second picture you can see there is a inward bent, in front of knees. Your knees are bent. uh, it's like there is a the curvature is more towards the inside, and the alignment is not straight, as you can see. Okay, so basically when you'll walk, when you'll run, or you will do any kind of standing activities, your knee will collide, or they will strike each other. This particular, uh, this particular kind of deformity is known as knock knee. When your knees are, it's interlocking and it's colliding with each other. Okay, now what are the causes of knock knee? What are the possible causes? So the first and the most common cause that causes knock knee is rickets, one of the common bone disease. Obesity is the another cause. In our childhood days, if a child is obese, then he is more likely to get affected by knock knee, and that he will carry forward throughout his life. So we should always take care of the body weight of a child. It is not, and it is never healthy if a child is obese, or if he's gaining weight very often. And the next cause for knock knee is muscular or ligament weakness at very early age. If your muscles and if your ligaments are not that strong, then you are more prone to get affected this postural deformity. If you are having any kind of injuries or any kind of fractures in your legs or in your knees, especially in your knee joint, then you are very likely to get caught with knock knee. And also one of the most common factor and most common reason that you can be exposed to knock knees is lack of balanced diet. Balanced diet, a proper balanced food is very much necessary. People often neglect this particular point. They always talk about obesity, they always talk about muscular and ligament weakness and other factors, but balanced diet is also very very much important for it. If we are not eating properly, then we are more likely to get any kind of deformities or any kind of disease. And the last and the one of the most common cause for knock knee is flat foot. Flat foot is also one of the kind of postural deformity that we'll be covering in our next part. Okay, as I have said, the second kind of postural deformity is flat foot. So you can see in the first picture, or you can see in this black picture, where where you can see two footprints. The first footprint, you can see there is an extra curvature in the inner region of the foot. In the second picture you can see there is no curve available, and this picture has a curve. Or when your leg loses this curvature, then that particular situation is known as flat foot. Your foot becomes totally flat when you stamp it over a surface while walking or while running. Now, what are the main causes of flat foot? There are quite a few reasons by which you can have flat foot. The first one is weak muscles. If your muscular system is weak, they can't take load, then you are most likely to have flat foot. Obesity is a kind of problem which you'll face in if you'll read about any kind of postural deformity, this will be a common cause. And also one of the major causes that we often neglect, that is using improper shoes. If you are wearing bad shoes, if you are wearing improper shoes, that is hampering your sole, or your feet. Basically your shoes should be always like comfortable for as per as your size, because we always spend a fortune on our clothing, but we don't even take care of our shoes that we wear. So we should be extra cautious while choosing our shoes. So this is our next postural deformities, that is round shoulders. So basically, what is a round shoulder? As you can see in the picture, the first picture, the lady who is standing, she's having a kind of curvature in her shoulder region. Okay, and the next lady in the next picture, she is standing erect. So round shoulder, or the arm shoulder, we can say arm around shoulder, is a postural deformity in which our shoulders become round. Okay, and you can see, if you'll see in the picture, it's like basically your abdomen region will go forward, and your shoulders will be, there will be an extra curvature in your shoulders. Basically you can fix your round shoulders through surgery, or you can go for any kind of rehabilitative exercises, and in long term it will be very effective. But there are surgeries also available, you can go for it. Now, what are the causes, main common causes for round shoulders? It can happen because of the genes you are carrying. It can come to you from your forefathers through hereditary, or if you're wearing a very tight clothes, mind it, there are because of the fashion and because of the common trend going on, we wear tight clothes, we don't wear comfortable clothes. So in the long term, this get onto our nerves, and this particular round shoulder can happen to us if you're wearing a very tight clothes. So I will be suggesting you to wear like comfortable clothes rather than tight ones. And also, if you're sitting on an improper furniture, your furniture should be a good one. It shouldn't be like it's hampering your, or it's tampering with your posture. Your furniture should be a real good one, actually, if we are talking about posture. Because most of the times we can't stand, we have to sit, or we have to do some kind of things. So we are using furniture in our daily life. Even while sleeping, we are sleeping over a bed. So it should be a standard furniture that you're using while sleeping or while sitting. And remember one thing, when you're walking or sitting, don't walk or sit in a bent position. You shouldn't bend your shoulders while sitting or walking. You should try to walk upright and straight. And also, one of the common causes of having round shoulders is lack of proper exercises. You should involve yourself in daily physical exercises, in physical activities, or you should involve yourself in any kind of sports, so you won't be having round shoulders. Now, what are the precautions that you should take if you're having round shoulders? As I've already discussed, you shouldn't sit, stand, or walk in bent position. You should always, be up in upright position and stand straight. Wear comfortable and loose-fitting clothes. Don't go for tight clothes or t-shirts or anything else. And as I have said, always use proper furniture to sit. The next common kind of postural deformity is lordosis. This is a kind of postural deformities that you will see if you are having some spinal issues. And as you can see in the picture I have given, the first picture is the normal position of a human spine, but in the next picture you can see there is an extra curvature towards the lumbar region here. Okay, so when there is an extra curvature, the spine goes inward in front of your lumbar region, then you are most likely to have lordosis. Here in this particular postural deformities, your abdomen goes ahead of your body and shoulders. It will be like your stomach is way ahead of your whole body. And the common symptoms that this particular postural deformities has is back pain, especially lower back pain. As I've said, it generally happens in the lumbar region here. And it will be like you are gaining weight because your stomach will be bulging out. So if this is the case, if your stomach is extra bulging out every day, don't think you're gaining weight, but it's a common sign of lordosis. Now, what are the causes? What are the causes of lordosis? Imbalanced diet. If you are not having proper diet since your childhood days or even now, you should have a very proper diet. You should follow balanced diet. You should have all the macronutrients in your diet. Then you won't be having the chances of having lordosis will be very low. Improper development of muscles. The next point. Basically, if your muscles are weak and the development hasn't happened like it has to be, then you are very much prone to catching lordosis. And also taking more food than required. Lordosis, you will see this is a very common postural deformities to the people who are actually obese, because they are having extra food, and because of that their stomach is bulging out, and because of that their there is a curvature in their back, because the stomach is going out, and because of that there is a extra curvature in the lumbar region of your spine. So if you are having extra food, try to cut it off, because it will lead you to this, and this looks very bad, trust me. Okay, the next postural deformity, this is also a kind of spinal deformity that I'll be covering. This is known as kyphosis. This is just opposite of lordosis. Lordosis happens in the lumbar region, but kyphosis happen in the this region of your back, in the upper region of the back, and it will be like a hunchback. In Hindi, there are many terms that you can relate. Some says it's like ऊंट के तरह पीठ हो जाना, or कुबड़ा we also say in Hindi. So this is the case where the normal spine, the curvature of the normal spine goes like extra outwards, and here this particular hip region of yours will go inside, unlike lordosis, and the shoulder region, the back region of your spine will be bulging out. What are the causes that can basically cause kyphosis? Malnutrition. If you are having improper diet, it will be causing you lordosis or kyphosis both. Carrying heavy loads. This particular postural deformity is very common in the factory workers or the workers who are working in a construction site, because every now and then they are lifting heavy weights, and in the long term it's affecting their posture. Improper furniture, one of the common reasons by which you can have both lordosis and kyphosis. Weak muscles, another one of the common reasons. Bending while walking, if you're bending forward while walking, it will lead you to kyphosis. Wearing shapeless and tight clothes, another reason, because this kyphosis and lordosis are similarly relatable, because both are related to spine, and if you are wearing tight clothes, it will be a very bad thing for you in if you want to correct your postures. And again, due to heredity, this also comes via genes. So there is no like, you have to be very cautious if it comes to you like this, and you have to be very cautious what you wear, how you walk. Even if you do some kind of if you're not doing some kind of physical activities, you need to involve yourself in proper physical activities. Now, what are the precautions that you need to keep if you are having kyphosis? Correct postures you need to follow always. If you are for Because before that you were following an incorrect posture, so you need to adapt the ways to follow correct postures. Wear loose clothes, use suitable furniture. How you can treat kyphosis, and some of the exercises that I have mentioned. Always keep a pillow. While sleeping, you should keep a pillow under your back. It will help you to regain your normal posture. And when you are standing, you should bend your head backward like this, like this. So the outward part of your spine will go inwards. Slowly it will go inwards. Not Rome was not built in a day. So if you are having kyphosis, you can try it. Perform swimming. Swimming is the one of the best all-round exercises that you can do. And there are some yoga asanas that you can also practice in case of kyphosis. Dhanurasana you can practice, and also chakrasana regularly. If you're practicing, you will be most likely to recover from this. Now, bow legs. The next postural deformity that we are covering is bow legs. As by the name you can depict, it's like a bow. Your legs will be like a bow. This is the normal curvature of the legs. The alignment is straight, but here in this case you will be having extra gap in between both of your legs. It will be like this. Outward curvature will be there in your legs, you will see. and it's also one of the postural deformities, and it's just opposite to knock knees. Okay. uh, in this deformities, the knees will go outwards, unlike knock knee. In knock knee they used to come together, but in this they will go outwards. Okay, there will be a big gap between your knees, and it will be just like a bow, like bow, arrow and bow. Yeah. Okay. Now, bow legs in babies are very very common. Actually, when a baby is just born, you will see they will have bow legs, but it's very very common. And in childhood days also, it's very very common. But during the early days of a child, their legs are not that strong. That's why they are curve outwards. But as they will grow, they will have proper diet, proper nutrition, and they will run, they will do every kind of physical exercises, like a common but does, like a common baby does. So they will regain their proper shape. So it's not a cause of concern if your baby is having bow legs in his or her initial days. So it's a quite a normal thing. Okay. Now, how bow legs are caused? First, rickets. Then if you are having deficiency of vitamin D, vitamin D, hud D, so both are related, D and hud D. So if you are having vitamin D, your bones will be weak, and if you are calcium deficient, then you are most likely to have bow legs. Improper way of walking, this can happen in long term use as well. This is a long term fracture, or the stress fracture we say. If you're not walking properly, then you are most likely to have bow legs as well. Obesity, another common reason, and almost you will have obesity in every of the postural deformities. So eat less, eat healthy, and using default footwear. And again, you should be very very cautious if the way you are choosing your footwear. And yeah, this is one of the most common causes. Don't force your babies to walk early. Everything happens in time. They will also walk, they will run, they will jump, they will never stop. But don't force your babies to walk early, because this will lead them to bow legs. Now, what at all precautions you should take if you're having bow legs? Don't carry heavy weight in your childhood days. That's why nowadays the schools are also banning, if the children's are carrying heavy school bags. Nowadays, the good schools, they're making the children to keep their books, copies, and other stuffs in schools only, with the lockers, or the bench. They're having lockers, they can keep their books over there only, and they can go back home with no weight at all. But this particular thing has to stop. And as I have said, the baby should not force to walk at very early stage. Everything happens in time. Rome was not built in a day. So make sure you're not forcing your baby, because it will lead to something bad. So yeah, this was it. Hopefully I have covered most of the postural deformities that we face in our daily life. So until we meet again, thank you.